Welcome to all of you in this video. In this video, we will talk about artificial vegetative propagation. As you people are well aware about the fact that we have dealt with the natural vegetative propagation in the previous video. In this video, we will see that what is artificial vegetative propagation and what are its types. So, artificial, as the name suggests, that something which is done by human intervention. So, the kind of vegetative propagation which is done by human intervention is called artificial vegetative propagation. Now, there are mainly 7 modes or the 7 methods by which the artificial vegetative propagation is done. It is layering, cutting, gouty, grafting, enarching, budding and micropropagation. Let's deal with all of them one by one. So, let's first see the layering. Layering is nothing but the development of roots on the stem or branch while it is still attached to the parent plant. This kind of artificial vegetative propagation occurs or it is done in the plants of rose, magnolia, lemon and raspberries. There are 3 types of layering, which are mound layering, trench layering and tip layering. Let's see what is mound layering. In the mound layering, a small cut from the tree is obtained and it is covered by a thick layer of soil. After some days, many branches arise from the covered part and each branch is having tiny roots. Then these branches are cut and they are transplanted at different places. So, this kind of layering is called mound layering and it is used for jasmine, cherry, strawberry, etc. Now, let's deal with the next one, which is called the trench layering. Now, in the trench layering, no part of the stem or branch is cut, but a trench is formed nearby the plant and one of the branches of the plant is buried into it and it is covered by the soil. Now, after some days, many branches arise from the buried portion and each branch is containing some roots with it. So, after some days, when the roots are well developed, the branch is cut into many portions and they are transplanted at various places. So, this is called the trench layering. It is used for the propagation of apple and clematis. Now, let's go to the third type, which is called the tip layering. Now, in the tip layering, the tip or bud of a branch is covered or buried in the soil in such a way that the apex of the tip or of the branch remains above the soil surface. Then what happens? Here many branches do not arise. The reason is already the tip or the apex is above the soil surface. So, only root development takes place here. When roots are formed, then at this portion the branch is cut and it is transplanted at other places. So, this kind of layering is called tip layering. Now, next is the cutting, which is the next type or next mode or method of artificial vegetative propagation. Now, the plants like rose, China rose, they are propagated by this technique. In this technique, the stem is cut and it is transplanted to other places. After some days, in the availability of moisture, every stem, each stem develops its own roots and new plants are formed. So, this kind of vegetative propagation is called cutting. The next one is called gouty. It is also called air layering. So, in gouty or air layering, any of the branch is girdled. Now, when I say girdle, that means at any portion the branch is chiseled and the barks are removed. Now, when the barks are removed, then what happens? It is bound with rag and soil and it is kept moist with the use of water. After some days, this place which is bound by rag and soil develops roots. When roots are developed, then it is cut and transplanted to other places. So this kind of artificial vegetative propagation is called Guti or air layering. Now the next type is grafting. Now grafting is making a twig or bud of one plant grow on the trunk and root system of another plant. To fully understand grafting, we have to understand two terms, which are the scion and the stalk. Here we have to keep in mind that the twig or bud which is detached from one plant is called scion, and the trunk system and the root of another plant from where it has to be fixed is called stalk. So scion is that part which is cut or detached from a plant, and the plant where it is fixed, that part is called the stalk. Now what happens, the scion is fixed on the stalk in such a manner that the cambium tissues of both of them are in the contact of each other, and in this way it is tied together, and after some time the scion becomes an undivided part, an integrate part of stalk. So this is called the grafting. Now after grafting, the next type is enarching. Now enarching is a kind of method in which two branches of two different trees are joined together by first chiseling them and then by tying them with a rope. Now both the chiseled branches are tied in a manner that the cambium tissues of each other is in the contact, and after some time a common cambium layer is formed. After the formation of a common cambium layer, the stalk plant is cut above the joint and the scion plant is cut below the joint. So in this way, this artificial vegetative propagation is done by enarching method. The next method is budding. Now budding is one of the simplest methods. In budding, what happens, a bud is cut from one tree and an eye-shaped incision is made on the trunk or branch of any other tree. Now newly cut bud is inserted in that eye-shaped incision and it is fixed in a way that it does not fall out. After some days, the bud starts flourishing in that new stem system, and this whole system, this whole method is called budding. Now next is micropropagation. When I say micropropagation, I am talking about a method in which tissue culture and the new technologies of cell biology are included. So here, with the help of micropropagation in the labs, many kinds of plants are produced. So in this video, this is it. Thank you. We will talk about the other things in the next video.